Forgot to turn the light on. That's better. You might want to see me. You probably don't. You'll probably prefer it with the light off. But, thank you everybody for joining me. I didn't think this was going to happen today. Everything was going wrong today. Got up this morning. Went to make my toast as I normally do. Put my toast in the toaster. The engine's on because it was raining, so I certainly wasn't getting enough soda. Put my toast in the toaster, and halfway through making my toast, the inverter started bleeping. Low power, and I thought, odd. The engine's on, so there should be plenty of power, you know. So I walked back out, and the ignition light's on the panel, you know, where by the starter key. Well, perhaps I didn't. When you start the engine, what you have to do is rev it up a little bit, and it picks up the revs enough, and it starts charging. Then you can rev back, and the light goes out, and it stays there. Well, the light was on. I thought, well, perhaps I didn't knock it out properly this morning. So I tried revving up the engine. Nothing. So I turn it all off, turn the toaster off, turn my laptop off, turn everything off because I've got very little power because the toaster's drained the last little bit out of my batteries. I did have in the morning. So I'm thinking, well, this is not good. It's chucking it down my brain. So I started checking things out inside, and went where the ignition switches and all that. I checked all the cabling in there. I checked the fuse box, and nothing was wrong there. Did all the stuff I could do inside anyway. It's still chucking it down. I'm not lifting up the deck boards. Everything's going to get soaked underneath the back decks. Otherwise, all the electrics under there, where the batteries are, and the split relay for charging the leisure batteries and the starter battery, it's all under there. I just didn't want it all getting wet, so I thought, I'm not going under there. So I left it, and I came back inside the boat, and I thought, well, I better send a message to everybody. It's not going to be a live stream, which I did. Well, then, where the pause in the weather brightens up a little bit, I said brightened up, it stopped raining anyway. There was no sunshine. So I went out, quickly lifted up the deck board where the batteries are, and I'm leaning down. It's wet and slimy and horrible because everything's wet, So I'm leaning down and getting all gunged up everywhere. Can't see nothing wrong. There's not a loose wire or anything like that. And I'm checking the split relay, and I'm checking, by the way, with my multimeter. I'm checking, but it should be okay. Obviously, I can't check that because there's no power coming in because the engine's not on at the moment. I'm going for it anyway. Right, I checked the alternator. So I lifted up the middle deck board where the alternator is attached to the engine. And I'm looking at all the wires on the alternator because the side I was is the opposite side to where the pulley is. So I'm looking down, and as I lift my head back up, I looked across and thought, there's no alternator belt. So that was the problem. I have put a new alternator belt on now. So there's a new alternator belt on there. There was one left on the boat when I bought it. I think it's brand new, although I think it's probably 20 years old. And it had been cable tied really tight to the drain pipe, which comes from the back decking boards down to the outside of the boat. And it got a bit wrinkly, obviously, and I pulled it round. I tried to tighten up as much as I can, pushing on the alternator and trying to tighten up, with the nut spanner in one hand and then pushing it with the other. Anyway, I got it running, but now it's not charging properly. And if I rev the engine up, it squeaks. So I'm pretty sure what it is, all those kinks in the belt now have leveled out, so it's a bit loose. So in the morning when it's light again, I'll go and tighten it up a bit. But hopefully we're all good from now onwards. So I'm not inundated with power tonight because it still wasn't charging quite properly, but we've got enough to do this. So that's a little update on everything that went on. And of course, as soon as I got that, I quickly told you all we were back in business. So anyways, I better say hello to everybody that's in the chat. Who have we got in here today? I know Willie's there. Hello, Willie. Hello, Mark. Andy Cap. Hello, Andy. And that's about it in the chat. I can see. I know we've got more people than that because I'm showing 13 people watching. So I know there's more people than that. But anyways, let's get on. So, well, we're gonna. Oh yeah, we're having a drinky poos tonight, aren't we? Yes. So here we are. I've got my bottle out ready. Oh, is that the wrong one? Yeah, this is a cheap bottle of Plonk from Aldi. Probably used for cooking. And well, I've got it out for reviews to show you. I don't know if you can see on there. That's only 11% alcohol by volume. Wine's 2 weeks, so we're going on the beer tonight. It's on there. 14.7% alcohol by volume. Yeah, that's more like it, isn't it? I have opened it. I just remembered I've already opened it. Just so I didn't spill it all over my laptop. So, here goes. I bought this beer over 4 years ago. You can still smell the bourbon in that. I thought by now that it was gone because I thought it was all mellowed into the beer completely, but no, there's still some smell of the bourbon there. Okay, Tony. Well, these were done in bourbon barrels, so I guess there's a bit of whiskey in it. Mm. That is so mellow now. I think Mark's managed to get hold of some of these. Is Mark drinking this tonight as well? Or do you drink them all? Yeah, that's pretty darn good. That's very good. Anyways, oh, thank you very much, Silver Birch. In hand. Yes. What do you think of it, Mark? Mm. I know one thing. I reckon a bottle of that, and I'm going to be happy tonight. I'm just checking my fire. Yes, I did. I'm messing around just before, and I thought, did I stoke the fire up? Because I don't want the fire going out while I'm sat here. It's feeling a bit chilly, but I went out the back doors. I probably left them open while I was outside. Yeah, the Stormwatch Druid. Oh, okay. Nothing wrong with druids. Yes, definitely right there, Mark. That's a definitely good. Yeah. Yes. Well, I sort of got it sorted out. As I said at the start of the video, if you weren't here, it was the alternator belt anyway. I put a new alternator belt on. Fortunately, there was one on the boat. It was there when I bought the boat. Not quite the same length actually. It's a little bit short, and it was a real job to push the. Fortunately, the bracket had a lot of adjustment on it, so I push it back. But the problem was after I pushed it all the way back, then trying to get to the bolts to tighten it back up with the bottom ones was almost impossible to get a spanner more than about that movement. So like this, so I get it up, But anyway, done. But the belt, where it had been cable tied to the side of the boat, basically the drain pipe, it had lots of little kinks in it. It was really. And when I was trying to pull it out and stretch it, pull it out, and I was trying to stretch it on the alternator, or push the alternator so it went tight, and tightened the nut up. It was tight when I put it together, but then I think all those kinks have sort of come out of it now, and it's a nice loop, and it's gone a bit slack. So it's pitch black out there. I'm not doing it in the dark. I'm dropping everything down the bilge or something. So in the morning, it's a just tighten it up job. Otherwise, I think I'm good to go. Where am I now? No idea. Not exactly, anyway. I'm at, I think it's Bridge 77 right in front of me on the Trent and Mersey Canal, and the last place I came through was Great Haywood. Yes, that is. That Jalpur IPA is good stuff. Hello, Australia. Daffodin Reese. That's two great Australian names. More Welsh, I believe. Yeah, so that was my... Yeah, I didn't think today was going to happen. And I was going to make myself a few little nibbles to go along with this. And I was going to do some Indian nibbles. I've got all the stuff to make it all with, but I just didn't have the time. I was messing around doing all sorts of other things. And I didn't want to put the mixer on to mix the dough up for making I was going to make some samosas. I didn't want to put the mixer on to make the samosas because I didn't have the power. So anyway, it all went down to, I could have mixed it by hand, but I was really running. I've run around most of the day trying to fix the boat. So I didn't make anything. I was going to make some samosas, and I was going to make some kofta kebabs and a few other bits and pieces, and I didn't make any of it. So nothing to eat to go with my drinky poos tonight. So we just got the drinky poos, which is very good. Central Arizona, you are, Willie. I knew you was over in the US somewhere. I couldn't remember where. I still watch Richard Vobes. Yes. We get in touch with each other occasionally on email. Little, backwards and forwards. Normally talking about something he said. Yeah, Richard was going to come on my boat once upon a time, but he's got so busy now with what's going on. I don't suppose that's going to happen. His YouTube channel went. Mine just went. I actually had more viewers than him at one point in time. Now he's got, I don't know, 500,000. Not sure how many he does have. Just having a quick look here to see how many he's got. I've got a separate window open tonight, so I can multitask. Not that it'll probably work properly, but there we go. Richard Vobes has 197,000 subscribers. Yes, that's a few more than me. I have 2,699, I believe. What was earlier today? And it still is. Well, I think it still is. I know, I'm at 2,700 subscribers. I've gone up by one. I was at 2,700 subscribers about a week ago, but then it went boom, 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 down, then it gone boom, 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 back up again. I think YouTube take me away sometimes. Yeah, I watched Richard from years and years ago. I first picked up on a Richard video when he walked down. I can't remember which canal it was now. It was the derelict canal, and I thought, oh, I'll watch that, and I started watching them from then, and then I'm quite interested in the countryside of England. So when he's doing all his walks around the countryside, it was so nice to watch. I quite enjoyed watching it. Wonderful beer, this, ain't half good. It is a very, very, very good beer, and it's my last one. Last one of the old Bourbon County Goose Island Bourbon County Stout there. My last one. a little water here as well. Right, what have we got here? He did some good videos about narrowboat life. Yes, he did. And he did a couple of... He went on... first time, I think he was on the Kent and Avon with Julia. And the second one, I think he picked up the boat around Oxford. Then they had a problem with the flooding on the Thames and couldn't move anywhere, I believe. And they ended up... can't remember where they ended up now. On one of the... could it be the Trent Mersey? I can't remember. I can't remember where they ended up. I did watch it all, though. Yes, definitely different. I remember when we were both on his lives. Yes, yes. I used to make comments in there sometimes. Some of the other people in some of his lives didn't like the comments I made, but obviously there were comments that Richard agreed with, because a lot of the stuff I made comments about is what he now talks about. Yes, I've been called a conspiracy theorist for many a year. I call it a truth teller, but a lot of people don't like the truth. Hopefully be the boating druid coming soon. So watch out. We will have a good session somewhere on the cut, I am sure. Well, if we meet up on the cut, you'll know me, obviously. I probably won't recognise you, but if meet up on the cut, we'll definitely have a session somewhere. And if we can make it on one of those good pubs that I know around the cut, that would be even better. My next stop really for a drink will be... well, actually, it won't be. It's not quite true. I was just about to say it'd be the Blue Bell at Kidsgrove. It's one of my favourite pubs, and I'm heading that way, and I shall definitely have a few beers in there. Love the people, love the atmosphere in there. It's a proper old English pub. But before I get there, I'm going to Titanic Brewing. So I'm going to be mooring up near Westport Lake and walking up into the town to Titanic Brewing. I will take the camera with me, and I will actually show the walk up there, get a couple of beers, and have a little chin wag about the beers up there. Even Charlie, Mark, Sean, and all the good folks on the channel. Nice to see you, Slurpy Dave. Yes, I've never been there, and people have told me it's great. And of course, after doing the beer stream the other week with two of those Titanic beers, the cherry porter, the special one anyway, reserve, was it the cherry porter reserve, and the plum porter reserve, I think that's what they were called. I actually, the following, well, it wasn't the following day, but a couple of days later, I was in Tesco, and they had the regular ones. You always see the plum porter in there, but I'd never seen the cherry porter before in Tesco. So I got both the regular ones and brought back, and I drank those that night. Sorry about my phone going off. And then not apart on those special reserves or whatever they are, they're still good. Don't get me wrong, they're still good beers, but compared with those specials, they were really good. Really, really good. I see the scrolling up here. I better get back and see what people have been saying. Prolific Dave, yeah. Titanic tour should be great. Fresh tasting as well. That looking forward to that. I haven't really done much research on it yet. I thought I'd wait till I get there and then do all the research. Make sure I'm going on the day they're open and all that sort of thing. It could get messy. One of my favourites. Yeah, I'll be good. I haven't got enough money to drink. Lots and lots and lots of them. Titanic, where we go? Plum port. Oh, people reserve coming up. I can't keep up with the had the plum porter reserve on cars. Yeah, you was telling me that. Yeah, I'm jealous there, Dave. Shouldn't be any ad breaks. I took them out. It's blimmin' YouTube. They play around with the blimmin' stuff. I took the ad breaks out. There'll be one at the front, and that should be it. I took out the mid-roll ads. Took them out. So there shouldn't be any ad breaks. I clicked no. And I know I did because I always do when I do a live stream. But I heard last time there was some ad breaks come in, and I know I've clicked no last time as well. So that's got to be YouTube messing around. I know they can add ads. They actually tell you if you read their rules or whatever they call them there, that if you don't have ads in some of your videos, and if they're over 8 minutes long, at times they might insert ads and to get revenue from them. But they won't give you the revenue for it. They'll keep it themselves. So they're going to show ads on my video, which I didn't want, and they were going to just take the money for it. I won't get any of the revenue for it. Not I get much of the revenue anyway. Last week I made £3 something on ad revenue, so it's not exactly I'm getting rich on ad revenue. I'm down south. Plum Porters, my Tesco's. Will it be the Holy Grail? My wife is leaving me for being an Arnold Schwarzenegger impersonator. However, I knocked up the mate. Good to see you haven't painted your wall white. Love the wood. Nah, my boat's it's old fashioned. I know it was an 80s boat, and when all the pine paneling and all you can't really see it, all the pine paneling was popular. But do you know what? It's staying. I like it. I like it as it is. And of course it's got quite dark these days because it was been quite light when it was first varnished. But over the years it gets that mellow sort of creamy dark sort of effect going on. I quite like it. I'm old, so it suits me. This beer's going down rather well. Yeah, I'm awesome jealous as well, Dave. Mark. At breakfast this morning, my wife said she's leaving me because of my obsession with Twitter. I nearly choked on my bread. I don't get that. Sorry, I don't get that joke. Oh, hash brown. Oh, sorry. I forget it's called a hash these days. I grew up calling it an octothorpe. It was always an octothorpe when I was doing mathematics. It was always called an octothorpe because it was used sometimes in maths and in equations. So I always know it as an octothorpe. When I see it, I still think it was an octothorpe, and I realise, oh, hash, yeah, hashtag and all that. New film coming out soon. Famous composer Tom Cruise said, "I'll play Beethoven." George Clooney said, "I'll play Mozart," and Arnold Schwarzenegger said, "I'll be back." Bark, okay. Oh, I love it. Ash, yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm not with it. Yes, I was a bit slow there. I know. Got to remember, I'm 65 next month. Yes, and next month, I'll let you into a little story. No, I'll let you into a little secret now. Actually, yeah, why not? My friends here. I will be a pensioner next month. Yes, 24th of March, my birthday. I was thinking about doing a live stream on my birthday, but I think I will be at the Bluebell at Kidsgrove then. So I think I should probably have a few bevies in the Bluebell at Kidsgrove. Anyway, 24th of March. I worked for Sainsbury's over here for quite a few years. 10 years I think it was. And I've got a pension with them. And I will be drawing my pension from Sainsbury's on the 24th of March. So I will become a pensioner. It'll make me financially fractionally better off than I am now. Not a lot, but the pension's not a fortune. I obviously didn't pay enough in. But yeah, so it's going to make me a little bit financially better off. It'd be a little bit better than living on Well, around about £100 a week I live on at the moment. So yes, it's, at least out of that £100 a week, I have to buy my license, my food, my fuel, my gas, and all that sort of thing. So yeah, I don't live on much money at the moment. And it'll be about 50% more. So it's not going to be a fortune, but it'll still make me feel rich compared to what I have been in the last few years. But do you know what? I wouldn't have given up the lifestyle for money. Best thing I ever did was buying the boat and living on the boat. Really is. I love it. Even with problems today. Yes, I had problems, which makes you put this thinking cap on a little bit and work through all the problems. Get the multimeter and start checking back through different things. Yeah, it's all right. But yeah, it's where you go, isn't it? So you sort things out. And when it was just a fan belt, I'd looked and sort of thought, why didn't you think of that first of all? And I'll tell you why I didn't think of it first of all. Normally, when a fan belt goes, they start to shred, and you go bang, 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 bang all over the place, and just ding. There was no noise. It must have just snapped. I didn't hear anything, and I wasn't. I was out. I was in the galley, which is not that far away from the back, so I would have heard it. Pretty sure of that because I was there. That's when the toaster was doing my breakfast this morning. When the toaster suddenly said, "No, you can't. I can't cook this. So you haven't given me enough electric." So yeah, it didn't work. I couldn't draw 1100 watts off at the time, so whatever it is, 1050 I think it is, but it wouldn't let me draw 1050 watts off at the time. So reverser goes beep beep. Oh gee, what's that? Anyways, let's get back to you great guys here. Where are we? Moonraker is a fabulous beer. Not had one for years. Never heard of it. I'm on my second bottle of John Willie's Moonraker. Never heard of it. I'll have to look that one up. The only Moonraker I know was the James Bond movie with what was his name in it? He was the Saint before that, wasn't he? I can't think of his name. Obviously, the beer's working if I can't remember names again. Well, I hope to enjoy my pension for many years. It's yes, they were. They're 5 years when it was 2019. I think they were. I think if I remember rightly, they were. I did actually read up. I think they were bottled in October 2019. I don't think it says on the label. It just says 2019. But I did look up about them, and I think they were bottled in. You can look up the numbers on them, and I think they were bottled in September, October. I think it was. No, it doesn't say on here. Actually, there's a little note on here. Develops in the bottle up to 5 years. Notes just on there. Stout aged in bourbon barrels. Yeah. Goes back to my old story actually when I first went to America, and no disrespect for my lovely American friends in here. When I first went to America, I only drank Guinness because I thought American beer sucked. When I left America, I was sad to leave because I thought American beer was some of the best in the world, which it is, and I'm still drinking it today. Look, but yeah, it shows how things changed over 15 years in America. Well, actually, they changed quite quickly after being there. There was a microbrewery started opening up just after I got there within the first couple of years, and some of those microbreweries in America, they make some of the best beers in the world, without a doubt, without a doubt. absolutely brilliant. And I know they're not particularly a microbrewery anymore, Goose Island. They're quite a major brewery these days, but they still make a lot of their beers the traditional way, like the microbreweries did, and they still make some real quality beers. I'm all behind on the chats, aren't I? Yeah, you're right. Troubleshooting is a lost art, and you're definitely right there. But it's something I actually like doing. I like to think and logically think in my mind a routine of doing things. Now, this morning, if it hadn't have been absolutely hammering it down with rain, my first point of call would have been to lift up the deck boards. But because it was hammering it down with rain, I flipped it around and I started on the electronics inside the boat, hence the ignition switch and all that. And I just checked with the ohm meter, actually checked the circuits that were all there and everything like that. So I checked everything was working through was there. There was power through there. So I thought, well, as a first of all, I thought I have had problems with the ignition switch before. When I first bought the boat, one of the connectors on there was very, very iffy, a bit wobbly and all that. And I actually took the switch apart and I resoldered the connector back into its home. So when you put the terminal, because it takes a little spay connector, and when you put the spay connector on, it didn't try to fall out and wobble all over the place. And by the way, it's still fine. That soldering job I did 4 years ago is still there. Well, it's not quite 4 years ago. It's probably like 3.5 years ago. I did the soldering job. It was in the summer, and I actually borrowed. I don't actually have a soldering iron. I actually borrowed a soldering iron off of another boater and did it. But yeah, anyway, that fixed that, and it's always worked since. So, and I checked it, and it wasn't loose or anything like that. And obviously, it possibly have been a dry solder connector, but I'm not bad at soldering, so I was pretty confident it was held up all right. Which it is. And so I went through all that. No, nothing wrong, nothing wrong, nothing wrong, nothing wrong. To the ignition light switch, I thought, well, perhaps there's a break in the cable there somewhere going through the light because it's all part of the feed through. So no, that's all okay as well. But right, it's outside, and I'm not going out in this weather. It's not so much I didn't want to get wet myself. I don't want to get wet myself, but I can put up with that if I have to. It was a case of lifting up all the deck boards and everything underneath the back deck getting soaked. You got your alternator there, you got your starter motor, all the relays for the split relay and all that sort of thing. There's not a lot of electronics on my boat, but they're still there. And if they all get soaked, you know what's going to happen. They're going to get ruined. So I didn't want to do that until it was dry. But yeah, fixed. Yours says drink by September the 3rd, 2024. They're not making that. Actually, I think what it says on here is I think they only make one batch of this a year, so I bet it says the same. I don't know. So I'm sure they only make one batch of this a year. And so I got to the point of, oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, yeah. Yours says what does it say? 14th, 3rd of September. Mine says the 14th of October, 2024. So obviously bottled at slightly different times, but I'm pretty sure they only make one batch a year. Probably come out of a different barrel and they just bottle up so many at a time. Always think twice before you cut once. No. It's cut twice. It's measure once, cut 25 times. No, that's not right, is it? No, that's measure twice, cut once, isn't it? Is the old saying. And I don't always do that. I must admit. I am pretty confident in my own head Because I'm a numbers guy anyway. So if I think, and I don't normally write the numbers down, I'm pretty good at memorizing numbers. And if I measure something as being 362 millimeters, I remember it's 362 millimeters. So yeah, so I'm a bit bad at that one, but I can't remember the last time I had to cut twice. So 4 years, Trev, got me through a lot of the S word that was broadcast during the scandemic. You're completely right there. Put it this way, I'd rather watch Trev than nurses' TikTok videos dancing on empty hospitals. Yeah, that was weird, wasn't it? They were saying they're so overcrowded, and then the nurses are doing TikTok videos and not a single patient in sight. Yeah, we were all lied to, weren't we, big time in that period? But there we go. Fellow walks up to a pub and shouts, Sambuca. Sambuca snaps, fireball. I thought he was calling the shots. Yeah, there's definitely a. Yeah. Well, the funny thing was, I wasn't really, well, what people call a conspiracy theorist much before the first lockdown. The crazy thing is, they tell you can't leave. Well, I did. I went out for walks all over the place. But they tell you not to leave your boat. You have to stay on your boat. This, that, and the other. Do this, that, and the other. But they leave a guy on his own, sitting on a boat with a laptop. So what do? You start researching things, and you think, well, that's a bit weird. That doesn't compute. And then they start coming up with stupid things like, oh, you can go to the pub up to 9 o'clock at night, but you can't stay there after 9 o'clock at night, because after 9 o'clock at night you'll get COVID. So you can't catch it before 9 o'clock at night, only after 9 o'clock at night. Okay. It was just stupid, wasn't it? Absolutely stupid. And there was a lot of other stupid things at the time. Fellow walks down the road shouting, pork chops, rump steaks, shoulder of lamb. I thought he's mincing his words. Oh dear. What's your t-shirt? Old school brewing. Yeah. I'll show you the back. You can see the back there. Old School Brewing, Wilmington, Illinois. And I bought it in Old School Brewing. Actually, I didn't buy it. They gave it to me. But it came from Old School Brewing, Wilmington, Illinois. When I was leaving to come back to the UK, and I used to drink in there occasionally, I actually bought one, and then they gave me the money back. They said there's a gift on us. So, yeah. But when I came to pay for the bill that day, when I gave them the card, they took it. They just didn't put it on, and took it off. Yeah, that was a bit weird, wasn't it? Now we've got lots of wars, lots of terrorist attacks, and trying to kill us off. Well, the trouble is they were trying to kill us off, weren't they, with the scandemic? You know, they killed off most of the elderly in care homes, didn't they, with the midazolam and morphine syrup. Anyway, I shouldn't get them talking to those lines. I'll get all over the place. No, I haven't had myocarditis, but I don't have any holes in my arms either. Yeah, say well, it's about 4.5 years old now. But so when you look at the screen, it's always back to the front when you're doing live streams. But yeah, I've got a few American brewery T-shirts. One I really like as well is one I got near Chicago, Blue Island Brewery. That's a nice T-shirt. I like that one, Blue Island. They do some great beers as well. Kankakee, for my American friends there, uh, became famous. Oh, it's now probably 20 odd years ago, probably more than 20 years ago, when a little girl went missing and the dad was arrested for it and then found he was innocent, and that was all across the news worldwide because I heard the news here in the UK, and that was the Kankakee. No, was it the Kankakee? No, it was a little backwater runs around the back of Wilmington. Yeah, it's not actually the main river coming through. There's a little backwater and there's a little park up there, and it's down the bottom of that park. You can park up and you walk down the hill. There's a little stream or river there, and that's where she was found. Very sad. But yeah, the father basically was arrested and all for it, I believe, but then he was found innocent, which was good news. It needs the flavour it can't get. Actually, funny enough, if you ever drink Czechoslovakian, well, it's not Czechoslovakia these days, is it? The Budweiser from over there tastes completely different, which was his brother or uncle or nephew or whatever it was. They were brothers, or I think it might have been brothers even. One came to America and started brewing. I think they had a big argument or something. Cicero, Illinois. Greetings. I know Cicero. I lived in Coal City, Illinois for 15 years. Czech beer, sorry, yeah, Czech, not Yugoslavian, Czech. So it's still there, yeah. So I get mixed up with things, especially beers. I don't drink lagers anyway, so I've got to have a top up in my glass here, guys. You notice I'm using the little glass again, and there's a good reason for that. I have big pint glasses sitting on the table here in front of my laptop. There's more chance when I'm waving my hands and talking to knock it over. The little glasses are a lot easier to keep out of the way, so that's why I use the little glass when I'm doing this. I'm not a member of Camera anymore. I was a member of Camera for 20 odd years before I went to the US. I dropped my membership when I went to the US, and I haven't renewed it since I've been back. I might do one day if I've got a few pennies to spare. I actually, I think supporting Camera is a great thing. Supporting great beers, proper beer. Oh dear, Bud Light jokes coming out. That commercial cost them billions, well, millions anyway, didn't it? They lost their sales plummeted, didn't it, overnight over that commercial? Oh yeah, I'm not going to say too much because I'll get a YouTube ban. I woke up just as a clown. I think I was slept funny. I'm missing half here. I got to scroll back up here and go back through a lot of this stuff. I saw it kept rolling over. You guys in the chatting away. It's absolutely brilliant. I love you guys chatting in the chat. Yeah, it was some lights that were on the boat. I'm just going back to the lights comment up here from Mark. And they were on the boat and they were wrapped up here behind me, sat on the shelf. And I never used them. I thought, what the hell are they doing there? And I took them down when I bought the boat, threw them in the cupboard. But they're in the way there. I want to put stuff up on the shelf. You know what I mean? I don't want lights sitting there just poking here, there, and everywhere. I throw in the cupboard. And I was going through the cupboard, sorting things out. And I sort of once a year, I like to go through cupboards and just think, well, I don't use that in a year. I don't need it anymore. Or it could be useful. It could be useful. It goes back in. If I think, no, it's a waste of time keeping it, I throw it out. Well, I pulled out those lights and I thought, well, I don't want to throw them away. I wonder if I can use them. So anyway, a couple of just before Christmas it was, I think it was. I got them out, and above where my TV is, there's a hatchway through to the bedroom area, which you can pull up and close off. Uh, but I don't. I'll just leave it open. It's only me on the boat. And I screwed the three lights, the three LED lights, sort of spotlight type thing. Though they've got lots of little LEDs in, and they're adjustable. And I put them up there, three across the top, sort of a bookcase above it, and angled them sort of to illuminate me a bit better. And I think it stops a lot of the fuzziness, doesn't it? I don't mind the dark backgrounds and all that. That's fine, but at least you get to see the worst bit of the boat, me, uh, in glorious light. But yeah, I think it makes a big difference. The only trouble is, I just looked up at them now. I can't see a blooming thing, of course. But I actually got them angled, so one's just above my head, and the other two are just below, sort of this sort of area, so it sort of illuminates around. Yeah, I think it works. I think it made a big difference anyway. To definitely, I used them when I on the ordinary videos when I put in little bits from the boat to talk, because sometimes I do videos and I don't put in a natural cut off point. I don't do a end to a video because I don't know where it's going to end sometimes. So I then do a little bit from the boat sometimes. It's nicer weather. I do it from outside, but this time of the year it's from the boat, especially with a day like today. Yes, it's horrendous this morning. No, I can't read the. Now my eyes have got to readjust. I'm just trying to. No flu cases. Yeah, that was a funny thing, wasn't it, Dave? Actually, I believe there was 3 cases of flu that year. Not the normal 47 to 53,000 cases. We have to have 47 to 53,000 cases of COVID. Weird, that one. It's definitely weird there. Yeah, I can't understand how that happened. Try Budvar on tap, Trev. Bit pissy as well, to be honest. Budvar, don't know. I've never tried it. If it's a lager, I won't try it anyway. I'm not a lager person. I really don't like lagers, and I think if I'm going to go in a pub and I'm going to spend £4 or more these days, some pubs, on a beer, it's going to be one I like. And I went into I was down at Fazeley Junction 2 or 3 weeks ago now, and I walked up to the post office to pick up my prescription tablets, and then I walked across to Tesco and bought. There's a little Tesco there. Bought a few bits and pieces, and there's a pub right next door, and I thought, or opposite Tesco. Well, do you know what? I'm gonna have a quick pint before walking back to the boat. So I walk in there, and they've got a couple of hand pulls, on there. And I said, "Oh, what's on your hand pulls?" I said, "You got no labels." "Oh, we don't do them." I said, "So you got no ales?" "Oh well, we got Tetley's or something or other, Worthington cream fry." I said, "No, you haven't got any ales." And they sort of looked at me. "Well, it's the same thing." I said, "No, it's not." I said, I'm not buying a beer I don't particularly like." I said, "Thank you very much," and walked out. And I sort of got some funny looks. I said, "I can't go to a pub to drink beer I like, not to buy some old rubbish that they've got a sale." So yeah, I'm a bit. It'd be a bit funny like that. And I actually was with some friends one day from another boat, and we walked into a pub, and I said, "I can't stay." They said, "What's your problem?" I said, "They got no real ale on. They got no ale." I said, I'm out of here." I said, "Let's go to the other pub down the road, which advertises that they have ale on." And they said, "Oh, we like this pub." I said, "Well, I'm not going to buy a beer in a pub that I don't like the beer. I don't come to a pub to drink water or a soft drink. I don't drink fizzy soft drinks anyway. That's probably why I don't like the fizzy beers, because I don't like things like Coke and Pepsi and any fizzy drinks. I don't like carbonated beers particularly. I know this is carbonated, and I know when I get beers in the bottle, they're carbonated. And that's why you'll quite often see me, when I'm ending the pour, I pour it right into the middle, because it knocks a lot of the carbonation out. Little tip. because it's making me, I'm vouching now because of the carbonation. You don't get that with non-carbonated beer. Can't imagine life without a proper Budweiser. I can't imagine life drinking one. Yes, thank you, Willie. Yeah, hit the old like button, the thumbs up, or whatever it is. That really does help me. It really helps the channel out a lot. Camera, I've got to scroll back down again there. I had a can of Bud Light last week. Woke up and I was wearing a dress. Yep, got that one before. I've just pressed the unlike button. You can always change it over. Yeah, $15 for a case of 24, but I wouldn't use it as sink cleaner, drain cleaner. I just don't like it. I don't like it. I know lots of people do, and I totally agree. Each to your own. And if we all like the same beer, there'd be a problem in the world, wouldn't it? Because that beer would run out very, very quickly. So I don't have a problem with anyone drinking whatever they want to drink, what they like, and I'm quite up with that. It's just that it's not beers I like, and I think most people that know me know it's beers I don't like. The only reason I didn't use the Goose Island glass was because it's a pint glass, and I didn't want the big pint glass on the table mark. Just because, as I say, talking hands around, it's much easier. That little glass, I can just put it out of the way, and I'm not going to knock it over. Big pint glasses, and I suppose I could get it out. It was on the draining board, actually. It was on the draining board because I had a beer lunchtime. Because I was a bit pissed off lunchtime and everything going wrong and all that. So I had a beer lunchtime in my Goose Island glass. I didn't drink it in it tonight, literally because it's a big glass that sits in. I just didn't want to knock it over. I didn't want to spill the beer and I didn't want to break the glass. So I'm going to put it back out the way. Not so far out the way as I picked it up from, but it's out the way. Yeah, I certainly didn't want to break the glass or anything like that. So I use that glass a lot. Right, where were we? Goose Island, that's my excuse anyway. Just working my way down here. Do you know why the world's greatest footballers had to tidy his bedroom? Because it was a messy. I had an opportunity to try and look at brew porter last week. Same porter, but one nitro. Oh yeah, one carbonated. Nitro one's so much different, isn't it? Yeah, it's funny, when anything when you put it on nitro, it's well, there's a couple. It tastes completely different anyway. The reason for that is CO2 is acidic, so it always gives anything you put it into a slightly acidic taste to it. That's why they always put in a lot soft drinks, fizzy soft drinks. There's so much sugar in it. CO2 helps to balance that sweetness out a little bit, so people don't realize they're drinking so much sugar. But beers will always give it a little bit more of a bitter taste, so it's a bit more of the sort of angle from a hop point of view. That's why some of the stouts and porters, when they're put on nitro, and you get that, that different sort of effect to it. By the way, most of them are not 100% nitro. They're actually nitrogen. They're an 80-20 mix. I think it's called a beer gas. They're 80-20 mix, or it always used to be anyway. I assume they still are. Going back to my days of doing some bartending and all that sort of thing. Yeah, on nitro, I would agree. If you can ever see the same beer on nitro, try them both. And I think you'll come up with exactly the same thing as Mark has there. The one on nitro will be better. It will taste nicer. You actually get more of the actual taste of the beer. You don't get that fake flavour added or that texture to your mouth of the CO2, which is acidic. And I know nothing about beer, by the way. Mena DHU. Don't think so. I'm sorry about the ads coming on. I don't know why that is. I definitely turned them off when I set the options at the start. I left on the ones at the start because obviously I want to get a little bit of ad revenue out of something. But when it comes up, actually, I don't even turn those off anymore. You can't turn off the ones at the start and the end anymore on the live stream. Those will automatically stay there. But it comes up with mid-roll ads, and it says, let YouTube decide or decide yourself. And I click decide myself, and I put in none. It comes up something like 6 minutes, 12 minutes, 18 minutes, 24 minutes, and all the way down there. And right at the bottom, it says none. And I always click the none. So I'm sorry, but it's obviously YouTube overriding me. Yeah, it's obviously them. Yeah, it is sweeter. Yeah, definitely. It is, isn't it? Because, as I say, carbon dioxide is acidic. It is an acidic taste to the mouth. I apologise for the ads. I definitely clicked none. There are two breweries on the island that both do cask oyster stouts. Yeah, oyster stouts are interesting, aren't they? I've had an oyster stout. I guess it's bit like not tomato juice. In the US, Tomarite or whatever it is. What's it called? Which has got clams in it. Clamato, and it's actually got clam juice in it. And it makes it a little bit of a different taste. You won't get any with premium. You shouldn't do anyway. If you're getting ads with premium, you need to talk to YouTube. Trevor got an advert from a Nigerian prince on his channel. After giving him all my cash for safekeeping, he gives me £1 million next week. Thanks. Yeah. 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 I'm pretty sure those ads don't come up on YouTube. But if they do, please don't give your money to anyone. And if they say, we've got this box we can't deliver to you, and all you got to do is pay the fee because the fee wasn't paid up front, and then we'll deliver you a box, and we know it contains £1 million. Yeah, we know it doesn't. Yeah, I had an oyster. I can't remember. I had the oyster stout. It was in a pub last year. I had an oyster stout because I'd never heard of it before. I'm not sure about it. It wasn't horrible. It was drinkable, but I thought it had a bit of a twang to it I wasn't so keen on. By the way, it was nowhere near as good as this. And I can't remember who brewed it and where I was. So that's how memorable it was, because I normally remember all the good ones. I stopped giving YouTube money. I try to get money out of YouTube. Yes, you are, Willie. In fact, from my point of view, anyone that gives me money from Patreon or PayPal, obviously, if you do PayPal, friends and family, I get every penny. Patreon only take a small percentage. YouTube are greedy; they take something like 35-40%. If you click super chat in here, which some people have done in the past. If you say someone put a tenner in on a super chat, I get something like £6.40 out of that. I think it is. That's how greedy YouTube are. Not only are they showing ads on all your stuff, which you only get like 1% of the ad revenue from anyway. They take 99% of the ad revenue. Well, actually, it's not quite that bad. I think they take 65% of the ad revenue from that ad. But then then if someone gives you money on there, they take another 35-40%. So YouTube or Google are greedy, but they're part of these huge corporations, aren't they? They're all greedy. Phoenix Stout and Wetherspoons today. I have had the Phoenix Stout, and I believe I had that in Wetherspoons last year in Northwich. And yes, it was very, very palatable. I'm suing my local fishmonger for selling me tiny shellfish. I'm taking them to the small clam school. Oh, I love them. I love them. Keep them coming, Dave. Keep them coming. We love all your jokes. Yeah, they take about a third. I don't know what it is. I can't remember the exact amount. I know you can see when I've done before now where someone's given me some money and you go in and you'll see it when you look at where your money's come from, and you're seeing an amount for £6 that or other. I'm sure it's £6.40 for a tenner, which is more than a third. But anyways, you can see it straight away, and you think, gee whiz, greedy bastards, basically. But there you go. Top brewery is Phoenix Charlie. Okay. Cheers, Dave. Thank you very much for joining me tonight, and have a great evening, or the rest of your evening, or wherever you are, or the rest of the day, morning, afternoon. Hey, welcome in, Steve. Yeah, Wetherspoons. It depends where you are, I think, Steve. A couple of them I quite like. The one in Northwich I quite liked. It's called the Penny Black, I think. Some of them, you're right, are a bit. Actually, the one I might even go into the one. I'm just south of. My next stop will be Stone, and there's a Wetherspoons in Stone. And originally it was the post office, sorting office, or the post office, or something like that in Stone. Big old stone building in Stone. Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? But that one, it's quite friendly in there. You can walk in there and people start chatting to you. And just like the one in Northwich, you walk in there and people start chatting to you. So those sort of places I don't mind. It's got a bit of a pub buzz to it at times. Not everybody goes in there to eat their crap food and have a cheap pint, as their food is crap. What do you think? Are you up on the Mac, Silver Birch? Oh, of course you are. That's all right. I'm Wallington. I'm almost certainly going back up the Mac again this year, guys. A little bit of a let you know what I'm doing. I believe that Marple Locks are planning to reopen in May. So if I go up the Mac, and I will probably run all the way up to the end of the Mac, onto the Peak Forest, and then go to Whaley Bridge, then come back down again, go down Marple Locks, and I'm going to try and book in to go through Stanage Tunnel, the longest navigable tunnel in the UK. So I'm going to try and book in to go through there. That's my plan. Well, sort of a plan, because if I get nearer May and the Marple Lock flight is not going to reopen around then, I will not do it. I will go somewhere else. Yeah, you're right. Well, mine's gone a bit flat now, but it's a great. When you think that's stronger than that bottle of wine I've got there. Better get a bit of head back on my beer. Just put a bit of a head back on it. There's a lovely aroma that comes off that beer, isn't there, when you smell it? It's sort of a sweet whiskey smell, if you know what I mean. And it's wonderful to drink, absolutely wonderful. Well, has anyone got any questions for me? Because I'd like, these times where people can ask me questions. Normally, when I'm obviously just doing my normal videos, I often wonder what people think. And yeah, you get comments and all that sort of thing. But this is the interactive time where people can ask me, and I'll answer most things. Obviously, I once I got a troll in there, and there was asking me all sorts of ridiculous questions, and I just had to delete them. Yeah, and chug, 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 chug. If you're doing the peak, Trev, you have to go to Bucksworth. I've been to Bucksworth Basin, yeah. The navigation pub, I was there 2 years ago. Yeah, I was in there 2 years ago. I stopped and had a couple of beers in there. Actually, I met a young lady in there as well. Who was very nice to chat to. She watches my channel, and I was sat in there. I was sat on a table on my own little round table, and she came in and she goes, "Are you Trev?" I said, "Yeah." She says, "I watch your videos. Can I buy you a drink?" Oh, anyone can buy me a drink. Yes, please. And we had a good chat. We sat there and chatted for quite a while. She's on a boat. One of the boatyards just a little ways away, actually. She had quite a walk back to the boat, and we had a few of these. And I said, "You sure you're okay going back to your boat?" Anyway, I passed the boat a couple of days' time, and she waved, so I assumed she was okay. You can donate in any type of form of currency you like. Meads. Well, I think someone else in the chat here makes mead. I know you do, Steve. The last nice mead I had was a ginger mead. Can't think where I got it from there though. It was delicious. By the way, it was that mead I had was made by Steve, Narrowboat Precious Jet. Narrowboat Precious Jet. Steve makes mead, and it was absolutely delicious. I mean, delicious. Even if he told me it was a regular mead and not he didn't realise they labelled it wrong. It was something labelled that wrong. Anyway, welcome in, Bob, by the way. A new name to my live stream, I believe. I don't believe I recognise you from before. So welcome into the live stream. We're getting quite near towards the end of this live stream, by the way. It's been going now nearly an hour and 10 minutes, believe it or not. And I'm still not completely drunk. But when you do drink beers with a 14.7% alcohol content. You're not going to stay completely sober either, are you? What don't I like about narrowboat life? The worst thing about narrowboat life is the towpaths in the winter. By far, that's my biggest complaint. It's quite odd, actually, because you go to some places, and I know the HS2 project has done some of that on the Trent and Mersey back further down. I know all that. I know that came out of the HS2 budget, but that peeves me off to a degree as well, that they do the towpaths where nobody goes. You can't even moor up there. You know, it's not even decent mooring. There's no Armco or anything to moor up against. And so you get the odd dog walker down there and the odd cyclist. They're not for boaters, but boaters can't stop there. There's nowhere to stop with your boat. And that's taxpayers' money's gone to that. People say, oh, it's come out of the HS2 money. Yeah, well, that's your money. That's taxpayers' money. It could be darn sight better spent in areas where boaters want to stop, like Rugby, for instance, or actually it's Browns over. But the towpath there is horrendous. And if you're on the North Oxford Canal, and say you come out of Coventry from the Coventry Canal, and you come out from there, perhaps shopped at Tesco there, and you come onto the North Oxford Canal, Rugby is the next place where you can actually stop for shopping. So everybody stops there to go and get their shopping. There's a Tesco right local, and there's plenty of other stores literally 100, 200 yards away. So everybody stops there for their shopping, and you're walking through knee-deep mud. It's horrible, absolutely disgusting, and nothing gets done about it. That really annoys me. That's one of the worst things about boating, because if you're staying on the Oxford Canal from Rugby, the next proper place for shopping is all the way down at oh gee whiz, forgot the name of the place now. Where the famous boatyard is, Banbury, all the way down to Banbury, and that's a hell of a trip. And there's no real shops in between, so you have to stop at Rugby to do your shopping. Otherwise, you're in little village shops, and there's not many of those either. You've got Braunston. It's about the only place where there's a little village shop, or Croppedy. There's a tiny little village shop as well, but there's hardly anywhere to get shopping, a proper, do your proper week shopping or whatever. So that annoys me. Rugby is just disgusting, and there's a couple of other places which are popular with boaters. They do nothing to the towpaths at all. But you go somewhere where a lot of cyclists use it, and there'd be a smooth and beautiful towpath. Steve will bear this one out with me. From Hawkesbury Junction all the way down to the Canal Basin, they asphalted that 6.5 mile stretch. I believe that the money come from elsewhere as well, but besides the CRT. But the asphalt, that 6.5 mile stretch, and there's only 2 or 3 places you can actually stop down there, really. Number one is a concrete wall, then you've got an asphalt towpath, so you can't hammer pins in if you want to stop. So it's not for boaters, it's for the odd cyclists and dog walkers. And they say they're improving the towpaths everywhere. No, they're not. They're only improving them where boaters don't stop. That's my rant for the night. So Tony, that's your fault. I'm going to blame that one on you. What is the next project video? CRT sucks, yeah. Well, now I've got to pay a lot more this year as well for being a continuous cruiser. Then they want an extra 5% out of me this year, another 5% next year, another 5. But no, so in 5 years' time, it'll be an extra 25% they want out of me for being a continuous cruiser, because I don't have a permanent mooring. Because they want us all moored up. They don't, it's all part of the. It goes along with the 15-minute city or 15-minute neighbours, 20-minute city scenario. They want us. They want to know where we are. They want to lock us up, basically keep us in boatyard or in marinas, so they know where everybody is. They don't want us out on the cut. It's all part of part of the scam, the worldwide scam. Next project video. What's the next project video? Well, if we actually end up with some nice weather somewhere, I will install my I installed the solar panel nearly a month ago now. Actually, both are working. I put both on the roof. But one is only cable tied to the handrail at the moment. The other one is fixed down properly. But it was getting late in the day, and to be honest with you, if I'm going to film it, it takes me twice as long to do it because I've got to put the camera here, move it around, film different shots. So it's going to take me twice, and I didn't have the time. I didn't have the time to film the other one when I put it in. So although it's on the roof, let's just say it's cable tied to the handrail at the moment. When I fix that in properly, I will film that fitting a solar panel. And mine are remember that I have the flexible ones which I glue down to the roof, and I'll show you how I do it to try and make it nice and neat and tidy. At the moment, the second one is a little bit untidy. As I say, it's cable tied, and the cables to it are too long. I made them too long on purpose because when I come to actually fix it down, when I actually pick the exact spot, I want to make sure they're not too short. So I can always chop a bit off. It's a lot easier to chop a bit off than add a bit on. So I know I'll have to put new pins on the end, but I bought a packet of 20 pins the other week, male and female pins. So plenty of pins. So that's not a problem. If I cut it back and have to put a new pin on. And I did do the video, didn't I, where I showed you fitting the when I put in the new when I put in the new MPPT controller. The other one wasn't working properly, so I had to buy a new one, and I decided if I'm buying a new one, I bought a half decent one. It was more money than I really wanted to spend. I also bought at the same time a fitting kit which came with the proper crimps, proper wire cutters and cutters for doing it all with, and it came with some connectors in there. So that makes fitting them so easy now, rather than trying to use the crimpers for ordinary wires, and that sort of thing. It's so easy now, unbelievable. It cuts the sheath off real easy. The strippers really does a great job. So that was a good little investment. The next project we'll be doing that. I don't have a lot filmed at the moment. Well, I have a lot of. The only film I've got really at the moment is cruising videos. I've started off this year, and I actually I off my it's here because I've just done it earlier on today. Well, not today. It was yesterday actually, but it's still sat here. Off my GoPro. This is what I use for filming nearly all the time. It's my GoPro 8 Black. It's the oldish one nowadays. You can get, was it 11 or the 12 now they're on. It's got 128 gigabyte SD card in there, and I downloaded it yesterday onto my laptop which I'm recording from, and I had 101 gigabytes of data on there, which has all been filmed this year. Took a while to download, but it didn't take that long to download. It took me a while to sort it all out and put into different files. It just took the time more than actually downloading it. So yeah, I've got quite a lot of footage. Probably most of it will go in the bin. Most of it won't get used because quite often I'll leave the camera running at times when I'm doing different things, and I could film 20, well, not 20 minutes, but perhaps 8 to 10 minutes of video, and only take out 15, 20 seconds of it and throw the rest away. Well, sit on my laptop probably, but they're all it's either on my laptop or on one of these I've got sitting there. I was using it yesterday because I had to put some more stuff onto a external hard drive. Yes, that's nearly full up now. That's a 4 gigabyte hard drive, and it's nearly full up. So I've got to get another one. So retiring next month would be another thing I've got to spend that little bit of extra money I get. Flooring, yes. Well, the flooring is underway. The flooring is underway. It's not quite up to. As you can see where I am now, it's not quite up to here yet. It's about 4 foot short to here. All from the front doors to there is done. I've got this section to do. I'm not putting that flooring in the kitchen area, the kitchen whatever you want to call it, galley or whatever. I want to put some different flooring in there, and then it's going to be out the back again. So then it'll be out the back, and the bathroom area and all is going to be done in that floor. And I've got all the flooring ready. One of the reasons it hasn't been done, weather. I have to cut it all up outside. It's either been blown a gale. You've got sheets of floor like this, and you're trying to sit on top of the workbench, and it's blown off. You can't hold it down, or it's been peeing down with rain. I just can't get it done. So until I get, or I've been moored up somewhere with a towpath narrow. Here would be beautiful. Here I've got 12 foot of towpath here, probably literally where the walk bit is, where people walk. I've got probably at least 10 foot between the boat and where people walk. So it'd be absolutely brilliant. But what's it done today? Chucked it down in the rain. And I need to get the stone in a couple of days' time to go shopping again, because I don't have a huge fridge. So I can only get so much in the fridge, and my fridge is actually turned off at the moment. I turned it off this morning when I had the power outage. And I put it all into a cool bag, an insulated bag, and it's now in my front gas locker. My food is out of the fridge. I left it turned off. I thought, well, because tonight, as I say, my batteries have been charging, but there's still an error I got to fix in the morning. So I didn't want to turn the fridge back on, so I've left them in there. And I thought, well, that's good. I defrost the fridge at the same time anyway. It's getting up due to nearly defrosting time, so I'm defrosting the fridge at the same time. But it's going to be 1 degree out there tonight, I believe, is what the phone said, I think, earlier, or 2 degrees tonight. So that's colder than fridge temperature anyway, so it's going to be fine. No, I'm not going to Crick. I'm just reading down here, by the way. I say whatever I want to say. I don't have any non-binary connectors. Well, Narrowboat Spuddy, what are you doing being late? I expect you was out having something to eat somewhere. So no, I won't go to Crick, and I will never go to Crick. Quite simple. I have no interest in going to the Crick Boat Show whatsoever. Everything's overpriced there. Down to the beer, everything's overpriced there. Got no interest in that at all. I've been to many a boat show years ago. I've seen them all. Well, I went to Wakefield Inland Waterways Boat Show that's probably back in the 90s, might have been the 80s. Been to, it was before Crick Show ever existed. I've been to a couple of others. Braunston Historic Narrowboat Show back in the day. I've been to a few round back in the day. And going to Crick does not interest me in one little bit. I'm not in the market to buying a new boat, and I'm not in the market of buying anything they're selling there, really. So, yeah, not going. The only reason if I was to go would be to meet other narrowboaters. But I meet so many these days on the cut anyway. I'm always bumping into you guys. So, I'll meet you on the cut and go into a local pub and have a decent pint and a good old chat. That's me. I don't want to go to places where just because you're going to Crick, no. so if you're going there, I've got nothing against it. It's just not for me. Oh, see it. You can't say Bud because everyone's talking about Bud Light earlier or Budweiser. Steve. Anyway, Steve, it's great you joining me tonight. Really appreciate it. Yeah, we'll have to meet up again somewhere for a couple of these. Always great chatting to you. And by the way, I don't know if you caught it earlier. I'm retiring on the 25th of March, or 24th of March. I don't remember my own birthday now. Yeah. So it's always great. But Crick just doesn't interest me. Perhaps I'm just a miserable old bastard. I don't know. Yeah, flooring video. I've actually done some of the flooring video. Actually, I've got probably only 3 or 4 minutes video, perhaps 5 minutes videos of doing some of the flooring. Um, I will get on with that. As soon as I get some decent weather and a decent place to do it, I will do it. And my plan at the moment is once I get to Kids Grove, if I'm more on the first spot just below the lock, there's a lovely wide grass area there, and every time I've been there, I've always done some work there. It's a great place for doing things like that. So I'm hoping to get there. And if I happen to need anything, I'm in the town, and I can always walk up into the town and pick up any materials I need. If I don't know what I might need, but if I need something, it's always handy. Well, anyway, I guess it's the time we wrap this up. I've been rabbiting on here now for an hour and a half. I'm sure you probably had enough of listening to me. Bye bye, my last bourbon stout. I think I've done really, really well keeping that on the boat for 4 years. 4 years. We ain't drinking it. Oh, it's been tough sometimes, especially when I don't have a single beer on the boat. And those evenings, sometimes a Friday night, and you think, God, I don't know, I fancy a beer tonight. And the only bottle of beer you got on the boat is that one. Try not drinking it. I believe that's proof that I'm not an alcoholic. Well, if I was to go to the Crick Boat Show, it's not a place I want to go to. It's not. I've got no plans on ever going to Crick Boat Show. It just doesn't appeal to me. It just doesn't appeal to me. Yeah, it's. I don't. I guess if you're new to boating, I'm not. I've been boating since I was 22. Okay, I've only lived on a boat for 4 years, but I've been boating all my life, basically. The only time I didn't go boating was the 15 years I was in the US. But otherwise, every year, since being 22, I've been boating on more than one occasion during the year. Some years I've been perhaps out 10 times in the year. So I'm not new to boating, so I've seen all these boat shows, I've seen what they do, I've seen what I have, and basically once you've seen one, you've seen them all. I know things change and you've got new updates and new things that I can't afford any of it anyway. So what's the I only think, oh, I wish I could afford that. Why bother when you can't? So I like my way of life and I like the way I am. Yes, okay, I would be quite happy of upgrading a few things here and there at times. I one thing I want to save up next for. Well, my boat's coming out. The first thing I'm saving up for once I get my pension, the extra money I get is on my boat taken out the water, and as I must get it black this year. Now I'm going to start looking around. There's a place at Kids Grove that does blacking, and I don't think they're that busy. I think he's sort of a bit picky on who he does. So I'm going to go and have a word with him, a little chat. I was talking to someone when I was in the pub there last year that says they're really good, and so I'm going to go down there and have a little chat. Got a little dry dock right on the bend before you go over the aqueduct across the Trent and Mersey. So that's when you're actually on the Macclesfield on the corner there. So yeah. So anyway, I'll see about doing that. Referring to the last goose, yes. Oh right. I thought it's referring to not going to the boat show. Yeah, well, I can buy goose island beers over here. By the way, I can't buy this one, but the I've seen the Mad Goose. I've seen the IPA, the one in the green cans and whatever. I've seen 3 or 4 different Goose Island beers here in the UK. And that's in the supermarket. It's not even a specialist place, so yeah, you can get them. I just don't normally buy those ones because if I buy those ones, I'm going to think it's nothing like this, And I wasn't madly keen on the Mad Goose or the or their IPA, the one in the green can. Was it a session IPA? Possibly. Wasn't mad keen on it. I had a few of them when I was in the US. But yeah, there were so many better beers when I, when they came out. There was just so many better beers when I was over there in different microbreweries. You choose the better ones, don't you? Yes, you won't get any from me. I won't be showing any videos on the Crick Boat Show because I won't be going there. And it's not the sort of thing I sort of do as a per se. I like to put things out of just me saying what I think at the time wherever I am. Because I try to keep it real life. Uh, I don't want any pretense of oh, look at this lovely boat here I can't afford. Look at this lovely boat here I can't afford. What's the point? Yeah, okay, I may point out, look at this lovely house here that I can't afford, but I'm not looking for buying a house anyway. Yes, perhaps I would like a lovely, nice, shiny, narrow boat. No, I probably wouldn't actually. I'd only make it not very shiny very quickly. But this old boat I'm on, built in 1986, nowhere near as old as me, so it's not old, is it really? Gee whiz, in 86, what old I've been? I was 37 in 86. Yeah, so it's only half as old as me, isn't it? But yeah, it floats. Uh, it's part of me now. It's part of my life. Do you know what? I've lived in quite a few different houses in my lifetime because I always like. It's probably why I like boating, by the way. I'd get fed up in one place and move on to somewhere else. Now I've got a boat, I can take my house with me. That's something a bit special, isn't it? If I want to move, I don't have to sell up and buy another one. I just move the boat. Yeah, that's probably why. I've always liked traveling. I've always liked going around. I've been around quite a few places in the world. Obviously, I lived in the US for 15 years, so I've done a bit of traveling in my time, besides all of Europe, basically. So yeah, I sort of got around a bit, but yeah, being on the boat, I can travel and be in somewhere completely different. I know it's still in the UK. It's probably besides it's going to be in England or Wales because it's the only places you can join up. You can't get to Scotland by narrowboat. But well, we're taking it into the Irish Sea or something stupid, which I'm not going to do. Yeah, if I'm in the south, I could be down in London. I'm not going to be, by the way, but I could be in London. Then I could come all the way up, and I could be up on the Leeds and Liverpool Canal, somewhere like Skipton. Chalk and cheese. So you can move without moving, if you know what I mean. I can move the boat without moving out of my boat or moving out of my house and go somewhere else. And that's what I really like about the boating life, you because I do like different things. Really do. I've had 4 jobs in my life. I've worked for each job for an average of about 10 years. And all 4 jobs were completely different. Not even close to being the same. So that's my. I get bored with doing a job, and I want a new challenge. So something completely different. I apply for. Now I'm applying for retirement. Yay! Yeah, that's what I'm. Mark, that's the way I always look at it. I want what you see is what you get with me, and I bump into many a person around the canal, and then most of them will say, "Oh, you're just like you are on your videos." Occasionally, people say, "Oh, you're a bit different than you are on your videos." I say, well, what's different about me? Oh, I don't know. But you're different. That's why obviously if I'm doing a video, it's like tonight, doing a live stream. I'm not going to swear, but if you pee me off when I'm outside, I might tell you where to go. You know what I mean? So yeah, I do. I use a different language perhaps, and I want to try and explain what I'm doing, which you're not going to do in natural talk. But I also want to show people what I'm doing. Excuse me. That's why I'll talk to the camera sometimes. I go, "Oh, there's a beautiful view across here," and then I'll pick the camera up and I'll turn it around and show what that view is. You don't have to imagine what it is. I'll show you what it is. Okay, so look, I only use this little GoPro, as I say, because when you're on your own and you're doing everything on your own, it's very, very difficult to use a big setup of cameras. I The amount of times I almost crash into things because I'm pointing that in some direction. I'm looking what I'm filming, and the next thing you know, you're not lined up properly for a bridge hole. So it happens all the time. And I normally slow down the tick over the film most of the time, but it still happens all the time. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you all. Next beer time. How about Trev gathering? I'll do a gathering with all boaters you like. I don't have a problem with that. I'd always meet up with a load of boaters. I don't have a problem. Love it. All non-boaters that watch the channel, because I meet up with a lot of non-boaters that watch the channel. I bump into somebody in a town. Quite. I bumped into when I was in Atherstone a few weeks ago. I was just going towards Aldi to do some shopping. This guy comes up to me and goes, "You're Trev, aren't you?" I said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." He said, "I watch all your videos." He said, "Can I buy you a drink?" I said, "Well, I'm just off to do some shopping." "Oh, the pub's open. Yeah, let me buy you a quick beer." Next thing I know, we're in there chatting, and guess what? I did the shopping the next day. But that's what happens, you know what I mean? But I'm quite happy with that. That's why I don't plan anything, because if things change, I don't care. Anyway, next beer stream. We're going to go with the Colonel Export India Porter. The Colonel Export Stout. And I've got to try and work out how to pronounce this one. It's Polar. I'll show it there. Not sure how to pronounce that. It says on the back here, Camin BA Imperial Porter, a cognac, sherry, and Islay whiskey BA Imperial Porter. I'm looking forward to trying that one. I have put one away, as Mark knows, for next year's special occasion, but this one is 11% alcohol. Mind you, the one tonight's 14.5, we know about 14.7, but these are not weak either. This one's a 5.5, and this one's a 7.3. So those are the next beers for the next beer stream. Yeah, I'm always up for a gathering. It's got to be obviously somewhere where I am near, because I don't have a car. I have no transport whatsoever. So, well, I do have transport, of course. It's my boat. So if I can't walk there, I don't go there normally. You like those ones, dear Mark? Good. That's for the next beer stream. Well, I was going to say 2 weeks' time. Not quite 2 weeks' time, because it'll be back on the Wednesday. As I say, I moved this one forward, or just because it was 4 years I've been on this boat and loved every day of it. Absolutely loved it. Do you know, mentally, you can't beat it. Can't beat it. I sleep these days. I never used to sleep. I probably won't get up to about, well, I'll be up about 7 in the morning, but I sleep so well these days. Unbelievable compared to what I did when I was working in the US. I used to sleep perhaps 3 hours a night max. Which is not good for you. Anyway, It's time to. Oh, I moved. That's what he said. I moved in all my life until I got into where I like. Yeah, you know. The thing about I actually love so many places on the canals. I actually fall in love with some of the little towns and villages. I really, really do. But because I know I can come back to them, I want to go to the next place. And of course, I'm a continuous cruiser. I have to move every 2 weeks maximum anyway. Some of these places I can only stay for 1 day, and they'll be barking at you, trying to charge you. As I was saying. I move on. I come back to the places I like. It's like Kids Grove. A lot of people tell me they don't like Kids Grove. I don't know why. I love Kids Grove, and the Bluebell pub there. It's got some of the nicest people in the world that go in there. I walked in there last year. I might have told you before. Probably have done. Last May, I think I got there. I walk into the door, and there's a guy that lives just a couple of doors away from the pub, and his name's Terry. And I walk in there, and I walk up. I sat at the bar, and Terry walks up and goes, "When do you get back in town?" I said, "Well, about half an hour ago." He goes, "Oh," he said, "great to see you again." And I haven't seen him. And the last time I was in there was in July the year before. So it's 10 months later, and that's the sort of feeling you get. And then other people start coming, "Oh, Trevor, how you doing?" and all that. And like, it's not if I'm in there for weeks on end. I'm in there for a couple of nights, perhaps, a year. It's absolutely brilliant. That sort of thing is brilliant when people remember you as soon as you walk into a pub. That is a proper pub, isn't it? So that's why I love it so much. Yeah, I'm not sure I'll get 40 more. 40 more. That'd make me 105. Yeah, I'm not sure. Even if I was alive at 105, I'll be capable of moving a 60-foot, 22-ton boat around. But you never know. I'm not going to say never. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the last one I tried to keep to an hour, and I've been trying to keep them to an hour because I always think if people watch them back, they're never going to watch for more than an hour maximum. And here we are now at an hour and 45. And it's not wasn't supposed to be a beer stream tonight either. It's just supposed to be a general chat, and it's great. I've had lots of comments in the chat, which is great. I can talk about them and a bit of interaction, and that's what it's all about. A bit of interaction, and that's why I like doing these live streams. It gives the people that watches my channel a chance to talk to me without just in the chat after a video. Then talk to me about other things, because if it's not really in line with the video, it doesn't always come through right. But yeah, it's great. It's great just to chat to people in the chat. That's why I love doing them. I'm not the best. I don't have the best equipment to do it. I don't pay for the extra, the YouTube premium on it, and I don't have one of these extra things where you can, a third party doing it through a third party where you can plug in 20 cameras and have 10 different angles and all this, that, and the other. I don't do that. It's just simply me sat in front of my webcam, and I used to use this, which is still here, microphone. Used to use this microphone when I was doing live streams. I stopped doing that. I just use the mic now on the laptop. I think it actually works better. I used to plug that into. I still got the board here somewhere. I don't know whether it's local. Yeah, I used to plug it into one of the little soundboards, the mic into the soundboard laptop, and I think the sound was worse on that when I heard it back than it is just using the laptop mic and cam and webcam. So that's what I use now. And since I put the extra lights in, it definitely makes the webcam work better. I know it's only in 720, the webcam. It's not high definition and all that, but it doesn't need to be high definition, does it? Just a general chat. Anyways, I think we got to call it a day, guys. This stream started at 3 p.m. my time, so opening the second. I haven't got through one yet, Mark, but I've been chatting all the time. I wish I had a second to open. No, I don't. Yes, I do. I had a second to open right now. No, because I'll be saying I wouldn't open it. I'll tell you why I wouldn't open it. If I had another one of these, it would be in the cupboard, on the floor, keeping cold and dark for another year. But I have a beer there for another next year, so it's from Austria. According to the write-up about it, it's one of the rarest beers in the world. Mark will probably tell you more about it than I can. Yeah, that's next year's beer. 1 year's time we'll be drinking that. It's another one of these rather high alcoholic beers, and I think it's going to be delicious. But anyways, thank you everybody for joining me. I really appreciate everybody coming in tonight. It's been great. All the chit chat in there, all of Dave's jokes and everybody else's jokes. I love it all. Yeah, well, I think another 4 years is definitely on the cards. I'm not sure about 40 years. Mark's 40 years time. I don't. Can you imagine me in 40 years time? I can't imagine me in a year's time. Yeah. Anyways, thank you very much for joining me, guys. I really appreciate everybody that comes in and joins me in these live streams. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be here chatting with you because it'd be pointless. I wouldn't just talk to myself. I'm not going to do that. So really appreciate it. And I'll catch you all again in 2 weeks' time, not quite. 1 day short for the next live stream. But there will be videos. There's a video going out this Saturday. It's another cruising video. I haven't got anything for next Wednesday yet, so I don't know what I'm going to put in next Wednesday, but I'll come up with something. Might be just me sleeping or something, you know what I mean. But anyways, thank you very, very, very much, and a great live show, Trevor. Now, good stream. Thank you, Lee. And I'm going to hit this button which says end stream, and oh look, there's ads will run shortly for some. It says it comes up with a message. Ads will run shortly for some viewers. I didn't see that coming up earlier, and it says skip ads. So I'm going to hit skip ads. There you are. You're not going to get them now. If I'd seen that earlier, I'd have hit that earlier. I just seen that come up at the bottom of the screen there. I haven't been looking down there. So I can stop those ads coming up that way then as well. Okay, I'll remember that for next time. Anyway, here goes. End stream. Night all. Trevor out.